We are back. What is up, you beautiful people? It is perhaps a day later than you are used to seeing us, but some of us have things to do. Actually have friends, believe it or not. So that's why it is a day later at the moment, but nonetheless, we are back. We are alive. I just gotta, you know, edit the details on YouTube and all that good stuff, and share it around, of course. All right, let's see. Where do I have the thumbnail? Because I have way too many, of course. Come on, where is it? I don't want to. No, I can't find it. Dang it. I mean, that's what you get, as a content creator who like is also kind of a hoarder in a way. It's like pretty much every video that I ever made, I still have. Um, most of them, unfortunately, on a busted external hard drive. But hey, you know.
Mm. I've got two of them.
Two. Wow.
Two. I
Okay.
have two. I have two different external hard drives. I think one's a terabyte, and the other is like 2 terabytes. I got them at particular times. I found good deal.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I was in
Well,
Whole Foods. I found Icelandic butter that I've never tried before.
Icelandic butter.
I almost went with
Okay.
the Irish butter because everybody knows Irish butter, but I was like, ooh, let me try. It's called smure with the J that sounds like a Y.
Oh,
So
okay.
I got some unsalted smure, and I am going to try that as soon as my regular butter is has run out,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that'll be part of my breakfast.
Nice. Okay. I can't say I've ever heard of it though.
Smure. I never heard of it either. I was just looking
Smure.
around. I said, smure. What's that? That looks vaguely Norse. It's just like, oh, Icelandic butter. Hmm. So yeah, man. Let's see. So probably nobody is knowing what's up. So
not
do we have
not
a
yet.
yeah, no, it'll take a hot minute. Um
So what else has been going on in your life aside from Icelandic butter?
it's been a good steady flow of construction work.
Good.
After my crawl space job was over, I got a different gig on the other side of town, doing some far more normal construction renovation work, and so there's a whole. I'm basically part of the helping labor on a
Mm.
site that's remodeling the entire wing of. It's not a hospital, but it's one of these medical modern medical offices, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. So they've already built the building, and now it's all the interior stuff. All the stuff that goes in the walls is basically what this job is, right? So I've been doing a lot of
Um,
cleaning, and I've been doing a lot of insulating, working with you know the padding and like foam caulk, right? Um, all this
sorry.
stuff
What? Foam. What?
and caulk. I'm handling a
Mhm.
lot of caulk on my job as of late.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
we listen and we don't judge.
That's right. That's right. Just remember, English is your second language, but you don't understand all the context of caulk.
No, I do, man.
Caulk.
No,
Yeah,
I know what I know what it
that's
is.
that's construction pun humor. You know.
Something like that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Well, it's good. Like no more crawl spaces for you.
Oh, I'm sure there will be more crawl spaces for me. But right now, I don't see any crawl spaces on this job site that I will be called to. So
Okay,
maybe maybe the next assignment they might throw me back in a crawl space.
so like at least professionally, no more crawl spaces
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
now.
For
Yeah.
now, for now, yes. But I can now qualify on a resume as a crawl space technician from the extensive amount of experience doing all of that bullshit.
That's a thing. A crawl space technician.
Yeah, yeah, because of the physical demands of the job. If you're not capable of lifting like 80 pounds of heavy material
Mm-hmm.
while on your knees or in a squat and trying to get it at least over your fucking shoulders, like there's a particular demand. Not just any construction worker can do that. They have to have some body conditioning, right? Even if it's just because they're old dudes that work hard, right?
Yeah.
Like the guys I was working with.
To squat and lift 80 pounds. That's yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's yeah, no. So like crawl space technician, it lets people know that you have experience in that. Like people quit that kind of a job because there's, hey, go replace the beam under this house. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, oh, and you have to do it with 3 feet of headroom. So,
Yeah.
it completely changes the equation. So yeah, crawl space technician is it's not like that's like a job title, but like it's a job, but it's just like as some sort of a carpenter, an engineer, or whatever, are you also capable of working in those conditions? Do you know how to? And can you keep it up for maybe 8 hours like that?
I mean, maybe when I was in my 20s, but you know.
You little bitch, I'm 45 and I just did it for 6 weeks straight. Oh, man, I'm in my 20s.
No, no, no. I'm just kidding. No, I'm I'm pleased with the job that I am doing. And but hey, we need crawl space technicians in the world. So look at you making waves.
Exactly. Precisely. Not a lot of people are going to do that. And believe me, even I have my limits. I am not, I got claustrophobia. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that can settle in. Once you start getting down to like, broom closet sizes, coffin sizes, under
Mm.
circumstances, I'm going to I don't know how long I need to meditate before I am calm enough to rationally deal with that situation before I choke to death of all the oxygen I have breathed.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So I'm glad it's working out for you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
won't see me doing that anytime soon. Um,
Right. Just wait till I'm high up in the rafters, because this is about going down. It's about going up too. Because you know,
I mean that.
I'm very interested. I'm very interested in what I saw going on building stages. I kind of thought it was neat seeing the guys on the harnesses all the way up on top of like you know the performance stage, setting up the lights and the canopy covering and fastening everything together and whatnot. And I said to myself, all right, I've been climbing Breakneck Ridge now enough times to be like, okay, I can handle focusing at that height as long as I know I'm secure, right? So I'm just like, let me do it. I want to do it.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool,
It made
actually.
me it made me think of like this is training in case Attack on Titan's a thing and I need to learn how to use the mobility suit. What's it called? The omnidirectional mobility suit from Attack on Titan.
I have no idea.
I can't remember, but it's the badass fucking harness that they wear to swing around like Spider-Man attacking the fucking giants. It's fucking amazing concept. Knocked it out of the park.
That
I gotta watch season 2. I only watched season 1 and no manga. I'm a bad otaku.
I have to watch episode 1.
Oh my gosh. Well, either watch episode 1 or if you get into the manga, it'll probably be better because just like books, the
Yeah.
manga's always better.
That's true. That is true.
And I haven't even looked at the manga yet. I really ought to look at the manga of all these different things, right? Berserk. Right? If I, it's just like they've not I think they've done one thing where they've gone into after the rise of the hand, the black hand, or whatever the hell the name of the fucking anti-gods are. And it's the post-apocalyptic demonic hellscape, right? And so like that's all like in the manga, and then like the anime was made as like a prequel to the manga, right? And so it leaves you off like, oh, they're not going to animate any more of this. Like I gotta go to the manga, bah, right? Because like the demons are these like there's this amazing visceral like Japanese demons are some of the fucking best. They're some of the
Yeah.
fucking best. The wealth of lessons from like there's so many that are documented too, right? Like there's a lot of professional documentation of all these wild little spirits, right? And so like just enjoy yourself on a couple of educational animisms of Japan like videos and learn about a few of the spirits.
Japan has like
Yeah.
their mythology, their demons and all of that. Man, it is
Yeah.
amazing. It is
I
so
would not
cool.
be. I don't think I'd be a pagan today if I wasn't into like high fantasy anime. I was into cyberpunk and high fantasy anime the most. Yeah.
You hear that a lot, that it's like the pipeline, if you will.
Yeah. This is why I had Jin the Ninja on my channel a few weeks ago to talk about, could have talked about so many different things, but I really want to knock it out of the park with the one that really had the greatest impact on me outside of like, Akira or something. And that was the Gurren Lagann series, even more so than jumping into Evangelion, just because everybody talks about Evangelion. Everybody. It's just like the only new hot take I like is Paranoid American. It's just like I like how Paranoid American is thinking about the series. I like how he kind of almost likes the slice of life side of the show better because he's trying to understand the characters properly, right? And so I like how he's going about it, and he enjoys my comments. He enjoys my comments on those.
Well, good. Yeah, Thomas, the way that he does things, it's really cool. And like speaking of that whole crew, I am still looking to get Donut on the show.
Oh,
but
okay.
he is a hard man to reach, and he is
Mm.
always busy. Like his
Sure, yeah.
debunks and decipherings and whatever he does, man, there's so
I
much
can
work
imagine. I
that
have
goes into
not.
that.
I think did I meet Donut once on a panel? Maybe once briefly, like early on, because I've barely on been on. There's not been too much of anything that I'm called up for or end up initiating with Nick to say, hey, I'd love to come on and talk about this, which been I've been trying to stew on what I want to talk about to bring to the table because I
Hmm.
really kind of respect this lane that Nick is in, which is very specifically different, but it's really beautiful at the same time with the people he's talking to.
Yeah, yeah, no, his panels are awesome. I rarely get the chance to catch them because it's always way too late European time, of course. Um, but he found a niche in that. Like he found what works, and he's gathered a good crew of people around him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we just all need to press on and exist and do our thing and let osmosis bring in your authentic base or something. I don't know. I think you're
That's
doing what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Just letting an authentic base happen.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered to like figure out how I market this thing. So a bunch of complete strangers will start trolling me that I have to filter out and then probably not really retain that many of them. Just because I decided to market and then everybody looks at you and is just like, why are you here? Just like this is not a place for you and your product. Get the hell out of here. Right?
Yeah. No, I mean authenticity in the age of social media is underrated. It's
Right. You
and
know,
I think
I
you
had to
know
I had to share this with a bunch of people because it was really fun. It surprised me how good it was. I just discovered this guy. He's got a I think he's a Canadian and he's got this channel. I think he's got something to do with comedy. And he's got this really like deadpan delivery and
mhm.
he makes these little films for YouTube. He puts together these pieces and he's been doing a number of culture things like about comedy. Like I watched it. He did a 30-minute thing on Jerry Seinfeld. But I just discovered him, and I've only watched one other thing, which he did a breakdown of Joe Rogan as a cult leader. That was
Oh.
very, very smart. The kind of thing where I was just like, Owen Benjamin needs to watch this. And he just released this like 3 days ago, right? So I'm not sure. I've never seen him in my feed before. So this new video was obviously an algorithm trip reaching me, right? So
Hmm.
he's a riser, right? And it was very, very funny. But in this real deadpan way because he's being really serious, but there's like this pseudo sarcastic undertone that he makes subtly obvious, if you will, and
Yeah.
then like he goes through this whole thesis for like most of the video on a psychological level. I thought was interesting, where he kept using the line to tie his thesis together, like a comedian kind of comes back to a punchline of
Hmm.
so he's got to get the hell out of there, right? So he's making a point using that statement as a psychological drive for the cult leader and people enticed to be cult followers, that there is an inherent primal thing in the psyche when something is wrong with your world and you just got to get the hell out of there. Like, man, I'm at a party, but oh man, I don't know if I feel safe around here. The way people are looking at me, the way I heard somebody talk about, they don't know they're talking about me, but they're talking about me, and they wouldn't. This is kind of hostile. I want to get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you know, So what would you do to get the hell out of here if you believed that the entire world, like there's a victim consciousness aspect to it, right? Um,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So Joe Rogan exploits comedians that can't figure out how to fight for comedy and they just want to get the hell out of the world that's harsh to them in comedy and create their own simulation of reality where they're where there's a delusion of reality that makes the joke funny because it can't be funny if it's not based in some sort of truth. And the only reason why these people are not funny is because their jokes are kind of a tell of their worldview, right?
Yeah.
And how they're isolated like the elites, but in their own narcissistic little bubble, right? And he goes through this really brilliant dissertation with endless amounts of contextualized video clips and his deadpan humor getting the point across. I really liked it. So now that I've gone on and on about it, let me just grab it real fast and just say what it's called on my
Yeah.
phone because I can't fully remember. Here's my history. Uh, Forbidden No. There it is. Okay, so the Elephant Graveyard is the guy's channel.
I
This video has
see.
had 1 million views actually. So he's huge apparently. How comedy was destroyed by an anti-reality doomsday cult is the title. Losing your erection is not the end of the world.
The
It's
elephant
actually look at that.
graveyard.
See, it's the end of the
Yeah.
world. All right. Gotcha.
Oh, I actually just saw this pop up in my feed as well.
You might have. I was sharing it around Telegram because I wanted everybody in my network to have a
Yeah, no,
chance to consider watching it.
yeah, no, I believe I actually saw it on my YouTube feed. I am
Yeah,
going to.
the Elephant Graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess he's some sort of Canadian comedian or something like that, who's now doing like YouTube filmmaking or something. YouTube
Yeah.
video essays. I think video essay may be one of my favorite formulas on YouTube. Just
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
voiceover and a well done slideshow to bring the point together. I've made a handful of those as usually shorties.
Yeah. No, I definitely love that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I I would love it if I can, do that too, but there's so much work that
Uh,
goes into that.
right.
And I don't have the at the moment I don't have the means or the
Yeah.
funds for that.
If I could if I could find a way to sacrifice like 2 days out of a 5 day work week, like because I can do fine on 3 days a week, right? But I also have to catch up on several things before I would want to function off of cutting down my time to do that because
Yeah.
like I have spent enough time being underemployed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, no, I
really
get that.
have spent enough time being underemployed.
Yeah, so there's a lot of catching up to do and not a lot of risk taking that you are willing to do at the moment, which I totally get. By the way, I
Yeah, I'm,
totally
I'm
get that.
taking I'm taking other risks. I'm just not doing it to the sacrifice of my agreements to my contract.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and
Yes.
that's
Hmm.
that's also one of the reasons why um, why I'm starting a Patreon exclusive um series, really just going into the whole like all the Dutch mythologies. It's gonna be on Patreon. Like I need to make more Patreon stuff anyway. And I like, I like creating, and I hate my job.
Eh,
So yeah, and so if I can, like, by doing that, I can also get more Patreon subscribers. That'd be awesome, because that would allow me a lot more, a lot more free time. Maybe to eventually, hopefully, um, like start with working part time. So like, like 3 days a week, then be able to spend, let's say, 4 days, or 2 days, like actually, creating the content. I'd like to focus on that just a lot more, but it is so much work, especially if you still have a full-time job that you know that also requires you to be there.
right, right. Well, I think yeah,
But
there's a whole there it's a whole lot of it's very interesting when thinking about it, cuz in many respects you need to do it alone, but at the same time, if you happen to be in the circumstances of living with a partner, there might be an agreement there that freaking does things, right? Because it's just like, yeah, I'd like to get to this, but it takes me 3 times as long to do the dishes if I'm the only one doing the dishes. And I got to do my dishes because even though it's one plate, it's always the same amount of pots and pans, right?
yeah,
It's like that, right? So um like MMA is a game of inches, um, you know, uh, uh, finding that time is a game of seconds.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm making it work
yeah,
so far, um, but I'm also really noticing that if
yeah.
my
I have a force in me that consistently tries to tell me that I'm late, that I'm too late, that I'm too slow, or so on and so forth. It wants to whip me. It wants to whip me, and it thinks I want to be whipped because it's about pursuing my desires. And it's just like I'm whipping myself enough about it, and I don't need this thing clattering in my brain when rational thoughts tell me relax. It's not happening today, right?
wait, you're telling me you don't like to be whipped?
Ah, not that hard.
Ooh, okay, okay.
Ah, no, no, no. Honestly, no. I don't like to be whipped at all.
No, you're just nah. Okay, you're not that adventurous. I'm just gonna I'm gonna stop
Right.
here. I mean, I agree, though.
Mm.
It's yeah. Anyway, no, but content creation, it's a hard and thankless job. Even if it's
Yeah.
not a job yet, in the way that either of us is getting paid for
Hmm.
it yet,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. 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 And a lot of it is also when am I really ready to sit down and do and say something that isn't just flow state? When do I feel like
Mm,
writing a script and reading a script? Right? When do I feel like doing that? Actually writing it out, right? Because it's the same thing that I don't know if it's all part of writer's block, but it's just like I can play. I can come up with all these riffs. I can do something that makes sense, that doesn't have truly strict structure, just
mm,
by hitting play on and just going for 5-10 minutes. But at the end of the day, I can't sit there and it's just like I'd have to go back and listen to it 20 million times because like there was no forethought. I let my nervous system play that song.
Yeah.
That's what's happening there. It's the same. It's just like even when I'm driving, my nervous system is kind of having the conversation, if you will. There's so much coming through the path of least resistance, thus the flow state.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very least, it takes the thought and it makes to ask the question instead of knowing the answer, and then using the pursuance of the question to kind of bring a satisfaction of an answer out. That's kind of what I'm looking for, especially when I'm doing the drive streams and trying to reach a conclusion by the time I reach my final destination, so I don't awkwardly have to say goodbye in the parking lot for 5 minutes. Right? So I have to
Yeah.
make sure I don't try and speak too big, because I often am interested in poking at somebody's sacred cow, and I don't want to poke it with futility. I need there to be a full thought to be referenced, so no one can say you said a bad thing, revealing the badness of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
This is the game you play with making sure that your content is straight, your context is straight, while trying not to completely stress out getting every little syllable right all the time. Just like I think a lot of people are brilliant, but also they're only brilliant if they go back and they edit themselves, right? Because they're not necessarily capable of talking direct like me.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Everybody has a right to have their clear, cohesive thoughts published somewhere as an official position on a matter, because it may be important for someone around you to know where you stand on that.
I mean, thank God everybody's different. Imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've been at it for half an hour, and no one's here. So let's cook with a with a read from something on your end.
Okay.
Or at least something universal going on, that is of interest to you. I've already shuffled, except for the woods, actually.
I mean, I always have shit going on. I always have, questions, if you will. Just trying to. Yeah, just let's see what's.
Well, I mean, like, okay, like you're there's a whole lot going. Maybe there's nothing going on in your country because you're maybe one of the better one of the
Oh,
countries making better decisions in the EU,
no,
but
there
there's a whole lot
is.
going on in the EU that you probably understand better than
There's
I do.
there's a lot of shit going on in my country as well.
All right.
More so recently.
Mm. Pick something going on in your neck of the woods. That's what I want you to do. Pick something going on in your neck of the woods. Don't tell me what it is.
Yeah, okay, I got something.
All right. So, this matter happening somewhere in the EU. We have I Ching 52 called Stilling. You're back, not grasping yourself, moving in your rooms, not seeing your people, not a mistake. Hold yourself still as in meditation. Don't seek to grasp yourself. By hunting down your every thought, you do not need to resonate with anyone. Even if you feel as though you ought to be sensitive to their presence and needs, it is no mistake to exclude all things and be quiet within yourself. What if there were nothing you had to do now? What if there were nowhere else you had to be? Okay, so there's a solution to a problem that comes with the process of bringing ourselves to calm. It's basically, it's kind of like, this is the first 20 minutes of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
It takes about 20 minutes to get the mind and the body like in a fully set kind of able to focus on what you're really fully gonna feel and come to mind, come through the mind with your meditative state. I try to meditate for at least 27 minutes a day
Okay.
because it reduces to 9.
Of course.
So this would then thus involve a sense of urgency that is not as necessary as one thinks, because it's talking about um, the way certain things arise that you are to uh, reject accepting the urgency pressed upon you by these things that arise, right? Because there's a sense of finding the state of beginning self-care is in the subtext of this read. Right? If we're talking about something EU as a whole, this could be a subject of this could be a national identity subject situation, which we all know is one of the only and highly focused problems just happening all over the West.
Yeah.
We got Earth, the Earth elemental. Physical body, grounding, nurture, cultivate. So, the stilling and the land. There's a sense of bringing peace to the land. All right. In our focus position, Ace of Stones, the foundation of life. And Yuaj. Okay, so there's a root land resource in Europe that its value or its possession is in flux. It's going between two different kinds of relationships with the earth. In our origins, in Erd, we have 10 of Bows, responsibility. This has something to do with who was responsible for this land. Whoever is the highest jurisdiction, the one who is in charge of the protection. And then you have Soul, which is not just soul, but it's soil as well. So that can be very earthen in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
Verdandi. Hmm. 10 of stones. Home reversed. Reversed. Right?
Oh.
So the matter at hand that is unstill is ruining the home. And it is somebody's responsibility. They promised that this wouldn't happen.
Okay.
We have Bereshkana reversed. This it's making young women uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not an environment that cultivates their nature.
No, definitely not.
So, Skuld, what should we do about this? Interesting. So we have the Burning Oak reversed. This is the Tower card, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's reversed. So there is this delayment of the catalyst for change. Perhaps the stillness is about trying to keep this tower or this old tree standing. And Nauthies. Well, yeah, it's the resistance to collapsing this paradigm that this represents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this necessity has to be done, right? Something there are materials that need to be removed or transformed on premises for what is new that is being resisted, that already has revealed itself um, as the answer. So, what is it?
Well, here in the Netherlands, at least, the latest thing that has become a huge uproar, which comes back every now and then, is the murder of two young women, one 17-year-old and the other 22, I believe, by a asylum seeker, fortune seeker, and he is responsible for both cases.
Right,
And so now, the whole country again is up in arms because, like,
right,
what are you gonna do about it? What are we gonna
yeah,
do about it?
right.
Um,
Well, I mean, if it's the whole country, it's just like then, uh, then the problem is that somebody amongst this whole country is not capable of leaning influence on your parliament, right? Your parliament, it's the whole country except for parliament, meaning that it's the whole country except for parliament and
mhm.
whoever the parliamentarians surround themselves with that are outside of regular business.
It
You know,
is it is
who are,
the
who are the people that harass a politician, effectively when they're failing you.
We really don't do that. And it is exactly Parliament who brought these people in, and people are, and I'm really tired of seeing that they're going down the political route. It's like, oh, I know who I'm voting for, and next elections, and it's like, no, it's not gonna help, because those are the same people that brought him in. Those are the same people that helped him, allowed him to do these things. And the other side, mostly women, of course, are, see, it's men who are the problem. um so it's a great divide and conquer thing, and it's working like a charm.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, yeah. That's been America has been different because it's just like, it doesn't matter what our laws are. Our psyche wants to be in this place. It wants to be in this state of mind. We happen to have a system that can end up reflecting that. And I
Hmm.
know that a lot of Europe is starting to change. I think there was an Italian deportation program that just got started
Yeah, I
or
believe.
something. Like, at
I
least they're hitting them on the beach, the ones, any new ones. Like,
Yeah,
like,
Italy and France or Spain is
right,
doing that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah. So we're ahead of the curve, and I'd highly recommend um that Europe, instead of America, for the last probably 40 years, from Democrat arguments, loved doing things the way the European parliaments and union were doing things. So
Hmm.
they're the ones that made our kind of version of the European um, big daddy government, or pseudo socialist systems that were initiated over there. Um, and
Yeah.
all of this was just like, like, now we're saying, let's flip that around, and maybe you guys take a note or two from what we're doing over here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
things need to change. That is one thing that is absolutely for certain.
yeah, because
Um,
one thing that the European Union can't do, that the United States federal government can do with its states, is that it can overrule sanctuary uh, voids. It's just like, they can't change the state's sanctuary relationship unless there's something in the courts that ends up getting done that they find. Um,
that's
but
that's not
but they
how.
can't stop ICE from going in there, even with no police support. They can't stop ICE from doing their job. They can
That's
they
not.
can they can not help ICE. The state and the city can say, do not help ICE, to the cops and anybody else.
Mhm.
Um, but they can't stop them from going in there and taking care of it, right? Yeah, the EU doesn't have that kind of authority. So, like, your nation has to do it for itself, right?
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
still can get
yeah,
slap on the wrist by the EU of, like, stop doing that. And then, I mean, look at what the I believe that was what the EU did to Hungary, who wasn't even a member of the EU at the time, I believe. Um, but Hungary said, like, hey, we're just gonna stop letting people in. And the
right,
EU
right.
the EU basically said, the hell you are, because if you're going to do that, it's 100K fine a day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Hungary
Just,
basically
just
said, okay,
remember that this is popping up because you did pick that kind of situation. On the deeper esoteric truth of the matter is that it's trying to make an environment, where it's hostile for for first world oriented people interested, in in working hard and earning a good life out of the
Yeah.
system as we have it. They want you to have uh, an unfruitful future and to ultimately not have children and continue your line, right? That's the way
Yeah.
that that's the way that they are. That is clear from all of the
It's
context.
uh it's a little late for that.
It's never that late for that.
No, I guess. Um, but yeah, I'm very curious as to where this is gonna go. How this will play out this time.
Well, the men have to not be afraid of being accused of being men. It'll start there.
Oh, from what I've seen, that's already happening. Like we're you know at least Dutch man, European man, we're tired of it.
Right, exactly. It's kind of happening that way all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just by this merit, it's the kind of motivator that it's just like, well, you didn't listen to the conspiracy theorist about the kind of man you need to be before. Now
Yeah.
they're look, level one of the conspiracy we warned you about is happening. Are you prepared to be the man you need to be now? Right? It's just like that's why by the end of 2021 I changed.
Yep. Yeah. No, there's a lot of stuff going on, and even more behind the scenes of it's they're interesting times to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although I don't think it will last for too long. It,
Mm.
it it can't, not this way.
All right. So I'm pulling some bonuses. So your people, you need to push an important reflection for them.
Mm-hmm.
Make an important reflection upon the Dutch of who and what they are or want to be, and let that drive what they stand against instead of using what they stand against to define them. Because that is the pitfall. The pitfall is when you let your enemy's identity consume you, like Fenrir,
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
or or Hati or Skull, more 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 particularly.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Kenaz reversed. Upon this reflection, you need to find what you are inept about and reclaim your power.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then for your whisper, change. Like I was saying before about changing.
Mm-hmm.
Falling leaves do not signify the end, but the beginning of a fruitful season. So we have entered the fall. It is Virgo season.
Yep.
This is a perfect time because the harvest time goes right into the reflection. You're gathering what you are reflecting upon. Our harvests are not always a harvest of crop, because that is not always what we are cultivating throughout the year. We do business with those who do.
Mm-hmm.
So, once again, to find the rest on the land, reflect upon the land. What does it need to be home? What was the responsibility to the soul, to the soil?
Yeah.
And what false edifice is time to collapse now?
Hmm. Okay.
All right. That's the read. And I think that's the show.
I think so. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least this was a high-minded conversation for sure,
Mm.
with some dirty jokes here or there.
Hmm.
But hey, gotta keep it light.
Well, I mean, construction is just it's at the very least a very dusty job.
True.
Yeah. So I mean,
True.
yeah, it's a pretty dirty joke because there's a lot of dust on the floor when
Yeah.
you gotta get in the crack and fill it with your cock. All right.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh god. Well, I guess on that note, huh? Thanks for joining me. For joining me today. Glad we still got a reading in. Glad we still got a stream in. For everyone who has been watching, has been listening. Um, yeah, thanks. I guess I'm not sure where you all were. Like it's Sunday. What else could you be doing? Um, but hey, for everyone who might be watching, who might be listening afterwards, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave something nice in the comments. If you would like a more personal reading, a longer reading, contact Zerilath at yahoo.com. He'll get out his cock, put it in the crack, and yeah, all that stuff. you know, that's why he's also bare chested because that's what construction workers do. Always. Yeah. Anyway, for more on the Greyhorn Pagans, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you have the notification bell on as well, because I do hear it. Sometimes I do hear it every now and then that YouTube neglects to send out a notification when I upload something. Um, yeah, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Pagans, where you can get early access to all podcast episodes, can be part of our Greyhorn Pagans book club, and where I will soon also be starting a new series on all the Dutch legends that is going to start, that's going to kick off the 1st of September. I already have a an audio complete. I just got to figure out, like, do I want it as a podcast or I'm gonna make a video with it. I'm still, you know, in talks with the wife of how we're gonna do that. But 1 September for sure, it's gonna kick off. Start spooky season. So yeah, patreon.com/Greyhorn Pagans. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining us. Zerilath, bro, thank you. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll be in touch.
Later.
See you, everyone.